Okay. Hi everyone, my name is Shreyanshi Bhatt and today we are going to start the first lecture of our very first playlist, which is the CSE 101 playlist. CSE 101. Okay, so these videos are for undergraduates of CSE, but even if you are someone who wants to learn computer science, not like academically but just in general, then you can also watch these videos and learn more about the world of computer science and everything that it has to offer. Okay, so let's start our first lecture without any further ado. So many a time we ask ourselves that what is computer science, and most of the times people answer it like this. They think that it is coding, but is it really coding? Well, the answer is yes and no. So computer science is not entirely coding, but coding is a part of computer science. So in CSE, we learn a lot of different computer programming languages like Python, Java, C, C++. Nowadays, Rust is also getting really popular. So all these languages helps us to build various computer programs and applications. But is computer science only for building programs and applications? Well, the answer is no. You utilize those languages for building, but it is not entirely coding, and there is a lot of theoretical aspect of computer science too. So that's the answer of that question. That is it really coding? Well, no. But does it comprises of coding? Yes. Okay, so can I fix Wi-Fi's? No, the answer is no. You will have to search on Google on how to fix your Wi-Fi's, and you will have to follow the instructions given on Google, or you can ask ChatGPT. That will also help you out. But do you really know how to fix Wi-Fi's just like that? No, unless you are some computer networks pro. Okay, so what is it that CS students actually do? Well, we solve problems using computers. Sounds simple, right? So you can see in these images, what is this? Well, you all know that's ChatGPT. It's something that we cannot live without these days. And what are these? These are applications. And what is this? That's a friendly robot. Okay, so what are we doing using computer science? Well, we are basically creating web and mobile apps. We are creating AI, which is this cute robot right here. And there are a lot of other things which we can do using computer science, which we will explore in the coming lectures. So now that we are clear on what exactly we can solve using computer science, let's move on to see what we will actually learn in the course. Okay, so in universities and in other online programs and courses, basically we learn programming languages first. They are like the starting point, and usually most of the colleges, universities, they start with the C language. Okay. Then you can move on to Python, C++, Java, and other high-level programming languages. We will also further explore them in this playlist itself so that you get an idea of how basic coding works, and then we will move on to more advanced playlists like DSA 101 and all of that. Okay, so yeah, as I said, next we will learn data structures and algorithm. This is my personal favorite topic. Everyone, I am super excited to reach till there, but please, I'll need a lot of support to continue making these lectures, and it is my first time, so please be gentle with the feedback. Thank you. And yeah, so basically what DSA is that think how Google searches work. Okay, so basically Google is a search engine, right? And you enter a search there, for example, how to make a pizza, and then you get answers. So how many articles do you think people must have written on how to make a pizza? Thousands? Millions? Well, there are almost tons of articles out there on videos, even photographs on how to make a pizza, right? So how does Google like rank everything and will show you the right results? And how does it select that which are the topmost results for this query? So all of these things are handled by DSA, okay? And we will learn a lot more about DSA in depth in the coming lectures. So let's move on to other overview, okay? So then we will learn about computer architecture. Now, what is computer architecture? It's basically the relation between hardware and software. Like how do they communicate with each other and how they work in sync to basically provide a good user experience of a computer. Then we will learn more about operating systems. See, operating systems like currently you might be using a Windows PC or maybe watching this video in your iPhone, or maybe you would be using a Linux PC or anything like that, Apple computer. So all of these devices use various operating systems, okay? So we will talk about that too in the upcoming videos. Then we'll move on to databases, which is also one of my favorite topics. We'll learn about SQL, NoSQL, and just dive deep into something called DBMS, okay, which is database management system. And then there are networks. Remember how I talked about Wi-Fi in the previous slide? There's something called computer networks, and this is where you will learn a lot about how networks work in general. And eventually, what computer science students have to do in maybe their final years is to pick one. Pick. We need to choose that out of a plethora of core subjects, not core subject, core domains that we have available in the field of CSE. We need to pick one of them and do targeted studying. Cause I apologize for my handwriting, everyone. Cause as people say that a master of one is better than a jack of all, right? So I'm someone who has explored all of these mentioned fields: AI, cybersecurity, web development, game development, and a lot more. Like there's something called Web3, which is basically blockchains and stuff. What else do we have? We have core machine learning, computer vision, etc. So we need to pick all of this. Now you might be curious that what is my domain that I have chosen, and I will reveal that at the end of this playlist, so stay tuned till the end. Okay, now there is a lot of confusion between what is the difference between CS, IT and SE. So when I was in my first year, our professors asked us that what is the difference between CS and IT, and somebody just said that CS people are more highly paid than IT people. Well, that is not the truth. All of these three fields are equally good, and it's not like one is better than the other. So what's the differentiating factor between the three of them? Okay, so CS is a broader term, and actually software engineering is a part of computer science. So CS is something which has theory, programming, and problem solving. So what do we mean by theory is that we have to study a lot of subjects, as I said: computer networks, computer architectures, operating systems, database management, software engineering, and a lot more, principles of programming languages, etc. Okay, so all of that comes under theory. Now programming is basically applying the learned theory and building stuff using the languages like C, C++, Java, Python, JavaScript, etc. Okay, and problem solving is basically identifying a problem, building something to solve that problem, and then actually solving that problem. Okay, so that is a very important part of CSE. Now, what's there in IT? IT is where you manage and configure systems. So this mainly comprises of hardwares. It's basically information technology. So you study a lot around this term, and I am a CS student, so I don't have a lot of idea about IT courses, but based on what I know, it is about hardwares and like systems in general, and there is a not a lot of programming involved here, like DSA and all of that. Okay, and what's there in software engineering is basically this: apps. You build web apps. There are even IoT based applications, even like embedded systems, and obviously mobile applications. So all of this, like creating softwares, that comes under SE, and SE is a part of CS. So if you have chosen CS, you can obviously apply for SDE, SWE roles. Okay, this is more like concentrated software engineering focused. So now that we are clear with the differences between the three, let's move on. Okay, so what are some real world applications of CompSci? So you all must have used Google Maps in your daily life, right? So how do you think it might be telling you that what's the best route for you for going from point A to point B? Let's say you want to go from your house to your friend's house. So how do you think Google Map knows that which is the best way, how to avoid the traffic and give you the shortest path basically? Shortest path. So behind the hood, it uses something called the Dijkstra's algorithm. Very important. We will learn it in the graphs chapter. Again, I apologize for my handwriting. The graphs chapter in our DSA playlist. Okay. Then you all must be using Netflix. Any K-drama lovers, please leave a comment down below because I am also one of them. It would be fun to know what's your favorite K-drama. Don't forget to comment it down below. Okay, so what this Netflix does is that, see, for example, if I saw Queen of Tears and what's another K-drama that's related to it? Maybe Marry My Husband. So then Netflix will see that I'm more interested in dramas around someone's like married life, right? So then it will recommend me other dramas that are like that. So that's basically a recommendation system, that it will see my choices and give me other related recommendation based on the data collected. So this basically comes under ML, and we will also learn more about this in the coming playlists. But this is just for a beginner's point of view, this playlist, the CSE 101. So if you want more complex topics sooner, then you will have to comment down below to, like, just tell me, okay, you want more DSA topics soon. And we are also going to do a blind 75. Let me know if you know what blind 75 is, but that's all in the future. So let's continue. What's another very big, very important real world application? And that's healthcare. These days, biocomputing is getting really popular. Okay, so basically we use algorithms which are inspired from biology, and then we use those algorithms which are like in form of code, we apply to them in the real world to solve healthcare related problems. So a lot of you might know that AI is being used a lot in healthcare these days, and we can, also identify cancer cells using AI. So basically, we will have an image of the affected area, which we can use as CNN to classify whether it's melanoma or not, which is a type of cancer. Right? So all these things comes under AI, and it is super important in the field of healthcare, and that's a really cool domain if you wish to study further biocomputing and like applications of computer science in healthcare. Okay, so that's it for our first lecture. Thank you so much for listening to me for this entire time, and I hope you will like this video, share it with your friends who are interested in CS, and subscribe to make this beautiful grandma happy. Thank you all, and I hope you have an amazing day. Bye.